Yeah. What's good? What's popping? What's shaking? What's the deal? Apologies, because my voice is kind of like, ugh. You know what I mean? But ain't gonna stop nothing. Ain't gonna slow up the roll, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had seen, you know, I had seen a video from this brother, right? Who I believe was speaking from experience of what he had went through. And it sounded so because the brother was he was kind of passionately like speaking on it. Like he could have currently been going through this type of thing. I wouldn't be perplexed at all if that was the case. It was a little passion the way he broke it down. Basically, what his whole point, his whole message was: if you grew up in a broken home, quote unquote, moms and pops not together, duh, right? Although, real quick, I got to say, what exactly is a broken home? I mean, like technically, it's just mama holding it down as an individual. That's what they refer to as a broken home, right? Pops ain't dead, right? But it's like on the same note, if we talking about mom standing on business, taking on both roles and making it look effortlessly, majority of the times, if I say so my damn self, if you know, you know, making it seem like moms, listen, moms will be holding it down so good and so awesomely that it don't even matter if pops be around or not. Like as long as moms is doing what she doing, I don't know if I really see it as a broken home. You understand? Matter of fact, moms might stand on business to the point the kids they might not even question where that man is at. It's kind of sad to say it like that, but let's keep it real. Most kids, they don't really be, some kids don't be asking about their fathers and things like that. It's, so for most kids, it might be like when they get older, whatever the case is. But they might not even question it, wondering where he at, what he doing, why he won't show up. You know what I'm saying? Remember that episode of Fresh Prince? Why you don't want me, man? Kids don't be doing all that. They don't be worrying about him. But bro was just saying why you should get your pop side of things. Like ask him about why he wasn't there versus just going off of what mom said. Hear me out, right? Because I was listening to what this man was saying. He made a good point. He was basically like, maybe your pops wasn't around like he should have. Maybe you hardly seen him and seen him. Oh, maybe you seen him a little bit. Maybe he was dropping off some bread, some gifts, but besides that, that was it. But it's like you grow older and you realize life is short. So it's like all these questions that popped in your head or been, growing in the back of your head over the years. It's like you might actually start to want answers for. Because all you knew your whole life was Pops was a piece of this. He wasn't, right? He was told he never cared about you. He chose not to come around. All you knew was what moms told you. And in majority of those cases, or let's say half, I think it's only right if I at least say half because there's a lot of brothers out there who stand on business. You know what I mean? But all you know is what moms told you as a kid, right? And you go off of that. You grow according to that. But the dude was like, listen to your dad's side of the story for confirmation, for understanding. You might get a perspective that actually start to make sense, a whole new different perspective of how things got to where they're at and why they really got that way in the first place. You might be surprised because you never know. It could be way more to the plot that you wouldn't ever know about unless you took the liberty of just asking. It's like, what could it hurt? What could it hurt? Of course, you love moms, so we ain't gonna fake like it's not a few mamas who haven't weaponized the babies. We ain't gonna do that. It's quite a few stories. I know some stories my damn self, but I ain't about to sit up here all night and do all of that. May Rain, appreciate you. Queen, appreciate you. Jenny, appreciate you. Multiple in some cases, right? Usually it'd be like what the parents fell out naturally, or some cheating was going on by the father, and it left moms bitter. Now that seemed like the most natural thing that goes on. And the only thing in life she could do to have any effect on baby daddy is to use the baby against the daddy. It happened like that. Not all the time, because I feel like I got to put these disclaimers out there. Right? She might just be the sole reason for why the daughter or son didn't have that figure present. It can happen like that. Folks love to say, "Oh, a woman gonna stop? How a woman gonna stop a man from seeing his baby?" Come on now, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't even got no children. And I know damn well how these things can go. I done seen it. You understand? Partially, like, listen, like, never mind, I ain't gonna get into all that. But a woman on a mission that wants to make a man's life miserable, she can accomplish any damn thing she want now. Like, moms might have told him to stay away, didn't paint a narrative to everybody else, right? Using courts for the game, right? And as far as like child support goes, it might not be the fact they wasn't trying to pay child support. It could be that they just didn't want to give moms the money. He didn't want to give moms the money. You know, sometimes it'd be like that. He wasn't willing to give. You know, he was willing to give his child financial support. He just didn't want to do it in that way. He wanted to make sure it got to the kid. I can't tell you how many times I've seen these little clips that pop up where you see it like that. I remember one time I seen a clip where Pops bought a whole bunch of damn groceries for the house, and Moms got mad because he didn't put the money in her hands to go and get it. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it wasn't what she liked to eat. Maybe it was only what the babies like to eat. I don't know. But I'm like, how could you get mad at that? You ain't had to come out your pocket for nothing. You know what I mean? But that's how the narrative will go. Like a woman can easily control the flow of these situations. We gotta be real. And no, 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 no. Of course, it's not every woman. I feel like I gotta keep saying that, bro, because like it's plenty of fair moms out there, but the evil ones do exist, right? Just like the ain't shit daddies and all that. Like there was a video that had got posted online by this one father who had obviously a strained relationship with his kid, his son, right? And the boy was finna graduate. It was literally the boy's graduation day. If no other day a dad should pull up, it damn sure better be a birthday, Christmas, or graduation. So he did that. He pulled up to the school, gift in hand and everything. He had a bag for the kid and everything. He wanted to give his kid this gift for his special day. Don't you know moms made the kid give the gift back? Like she was tight too, going off right outside the school. It was to the point where she was dragging the kid away, taking him to the car, and actually was threatening the man. You know what she brought up? She brought up court. Throwing that court up in his face. The son, it was damn shame. The son was like, "See you later, Dad." Right? Pops was just like, "I tried, son. I tried." She was acting a fool in front of that school. Now, true, in those kinds of videos, you can only go off, what you see for face value. You can only take what you see for face value, right? It could have been way more to the story. Obviously, obviously it was. But what reason, no matter what the case, what reason would any parent have to make the child give back a graduation gift to the other parent, father or mother? It happens. Okay, okay. Another wild one, right? And when this is from the other day actually. I wasn't looking for this or nothing. This dude had took his baby girl. She was about 2 years old, 4, something like that. Took his baby girl to get her hair done. And who knows what problem mama could possibly have with a father taking his kid to get her hair done. I mean, he paid for it. She didn't have to spend a dime out of pocket. I don't know if she just ain't like it or what, but nah, it was too much rage in her eyes. She grabbed the damn scissors, bro. Outside. Other folks is outside too. While she being recorded, she start cutting the little girl hair to mess up the hairstyle that the man had just paid for. the little beads and all of that stuff. She was cutting all that shit out. The baby crying and carrying on. It was a damn shame. She ain't giving no F. She was being recorded, cutting that baby hair like that. Like the comments was lighting her ass up too. She actually was that enraged that she was willing to make the baby cry just to take away what Pops did. Now, what is the logic of that? What's the logic of that? Now it's a clip of you making your little girl cry outside all over the internet. That ain't never leaving. Imagine when she grow up and comes across that video and somebody gonna point it out, be like, "Oh, that was you when you was little. Your mom's was acting crazy." You're like, "Damn, you really did that?" Can you imagine? People don't think, when you got somebody recording you and you doing some crazy shit, and it might be embarrassing. You might want to just stop right there or find some way to get the footage because that shit don't leave, man. It don't leave once it hit the internet. But you know what? I think one of the worst things I ever seen, and this was different. This was real different. It was actually kind of like sick and unfathomable, and plenty more too. I doubt anything could beat this one. Yo, what's that lady's name, man? The lady that does the fixing of the family trauma and all that stuff. Start with an I, Yanla or some shit like that. Anyway, it was this father who was Arlene, appreciate you. It was this father who was accused of touching his daughters, man. This dude had got accused of touching his daughter. He had 3 daughters. Got accused of touching his little girls when they were little girls, right? By the mom. The mom was the one who I guess had put it in their ear about it. This was years and years had went by until them girls was grown ass women. All they knew their entire life was that their father had allegedly touched them when they were younger, right? There you go. That's the name, Marlene. There you go. There you go. All they knew was that their father had did that. It was put in their brain. They didn't have no answers. All they had was that to go off of. That's how they grew up with that in their head, right? They couldn't even really remember I don't think if it had happened or not. Like, they were so young because, like I say, moms told them that, and moms was the one that kept the narrative going all of those decades. Can you imagine that? We talking about like 30-something-year-old looking women. Like until they had went on that lady's show, the AYOOO, if I'm saying that right, they came on this lady's show, and it was finally time for the girls to know the truth. It had to be their idea and the father's idea. Or maybe they just said, you know what, we're going to track him down. We're going to bring him here. We got to know, right? We got to know for sure. Did our father do that? It was 3 of these girls. They was ready to learn the truth for themselves. All their life, they had been going off of what their moms had told them. So the father finally took a lie detector test in front of all of them. The mama, she's sitting right in front. She got them sitting right in front of each other for when the results hit. Right? What you think the results was? He was asked, "Did you touch your girls?" He said no. It came back, and that man was telling the truth. So just imagine all those years going by in these girls' mind, right? Where they was basically like kept away from their father because moms had told them that he was a sick son of a bitch. Could you imagine? And afterwards, the show hosts and the daughters, they looking at moms like, you gonna say something? You gonna apologize? She did, but bro didn't accept it. He didn't accept it. He didn't accept it. And on the real, I don't blame him. Look at what you created. Look at what you did. You had me away from my kids all these years, all this damn drama, all this resentment, all this trauma. Like, look how many years we done lost. We can't get that time back. Why and how? Like, why and how could I find the strength to give you that? Why should I give you that to accept that? For what? She purposely, obviously, this woman had purposely made up that lie. Who knows why? Who knows Why? Maybe there was something that the man did. Maybe he was with another woman at the time, whatever, bro. But we talking about some devilish shit right here. Purposely made up that lie. I think the daughters asked her why she lied. I don't even remember her having an answer. She was just stuck looking stupid and crazy. You know what I mean? That apology wasn't nowhere near genuine. And Pops knew that. You could see it on her face. It was like no emotion. Understand? How does a woman pin some shit like that on a man she had kids with at a point? At a point, y'all did care about each other. And even if you don't anymore, the very least you shouldn't do is that. And fuck that. Like, how could a woman pin that on any type of man at all? That shit is wild. She sounds like someone who will make up something because she's bitter. That had to be it. She did it, man. Obviously, never one time did she attempt to make it right, knowing that that was them girls' only father. She masterminded that whole narrative to keep the girls away from that man. Now, it's some real deadbeats prowling around, right? That ain't never acknowledged their child for a second out the day. And the ones we know and hear about that want to do the right thing, they end up getting robbed of their fatherhood. It's some wicked shit. Crazy. I just don't envy the things people go through, man. You got to watch who you lay down with, man. I'm telling you. You got to watch who you lay down for. I'm telling you. Those girls gonna be messed up forever behind that. Yeah, you can't get that back. You can't get that back, man. It's a process, bro. Like it's a process for giving somebody who did you wrong. Like I guess for some, it could be depending on exactly what they did. Like what was the extent? Obviously, that extent we know, and I don't see anybody arguing with that man. I want you to give her a second chance. Nah, man. I don't think everything should be, I get what they say. Everybody operate different. Some folk can forgive without even giving much thought, but some people had training. Some people are forgiving people and they would forgive any situation because they understand the main purpose of it. I commend it. I can commend it because I'm still working on a few aspects about myself. So I ain't quite there yet. I'm not going to lie. I just don't like shady people, man. I just don't like dirty, grimy, filthy, you know what I mean? The disgusting people. I just, like folks just think they can do and just treat you however, whenever, because of whatever. You know? Like how easy or hard is it to walk away from people doing you wrong? Like I mean, in any case, whether it's you trying to walk away from them lying on you, maybe an altercation, walking away from what could have been an altercation to avoid an argument, to ignore the fact that they was purposely provoking you. See, for me, what did Marlene say? It depends on what was done. Some things I can never forgive. Yeah, because for me, it's all about principle and intention. It's the principle of what you did. Even if it didn't affect me, it's the principle of, it's just like the nerve of you. Like, what made you think? Why would you take it that far? I'm so big on principle, right? And intention. It's like you really like for that for real. Like I might have a little trouble forgiving a fully grown man or woman because just as I just said, sometimes they'll just do things towards a man just because he's a man, just because they figure, like someone will do things towards men, for example, because we got balls, we got a stick and muscles, man, and we got testosterone. We're not supposed to show emotion, right? That's what they say. Like when we talk about somebody who knew what they were doing at the time they did it, like as in fully assessed and comprehended their actions, even how it could or might affect you, even though they would never appreciate us returning that treatment. Sexual abuse is unforgivable with me. Now that I agree with, that like that's a different type of scar right there. That's something I never been through. Like I know people who have been through things like that, but yeah, yeah, that's different right there. That can mess up your whole life. Like there are people who, some things you just can't come back from. So the people that bounce back from things like that, definitely got to give them their props. You know what I mean? But it's like I say, man, it's all about like the intention. When people do things and people, I don't know, some people make mistakes, but some people just have messed up intentions and they don't think about what they're doing, right? A lot of people will do things just because they can get away with it. A thief is gonna steal because they wanted what they stole, but they wouldn't have done it if they didn't think they could get away with it. A person might step on your shoes just because you look like somebody who ain't gonna address them about stepping on your shoes. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that pain from someone I shouldn't have trusted. Yeah, my heart goes out to you for that, Molly. I can imagine. I know you've talked about it before. I can give you anybody else credit, anybody who, you know, was able to like still thrive in life after going through that. Because there's some people who would really like it would affect them to the point where they don't even want to go on at all anymore. You know what I mean? That's just different right there. That's different. Very sensitive thing right there. But it's always that, and this is the thing why it's so hard for me to like forgive. I don't say it's hard, but it's like I'll think to myself, maybe I don't want to. Like, aren't we allowed to say if we want to forgive somebody or not? People were so quick to say, it's the best thing to do, whatever the case, because the whole purpose of it, it's supposed blah blah blah, right? Like it's for our sake, it's not for theirs. You know what I'm saying? But what if we can go on with life and be fine with not forgiving them? What happened, or maybe that person took action. You know, maybe they returned the favor to that person, whatever it is, right? Some people do believe in eye for an eye. That is what it is. You know, I'm just saying, man. I'm not saying that's necessarily me, but it does depend on the extent. It depends on what we talking about here. You know what I'm saying? Somebody put their hands on you, then I mean, forgiveness. That's the furthest thing from my damn mind. Like I could say forgive you right now. The words are there, but obviously, if it's not heartfelt forgiveness, what is the purpose? You know, that is one of the reasons I had depression from traumatic childhood and toxic adults. Yeah, that definitely would do it right there. Definitely. People, that's what I'm saying. People don't understand like the effect that they can have on other people for the things that they do, you know? Yeah, obviously it's like what is the purpose? Like I say, like what's the point of forgiving somebody if it's not gonna be heartfelt? You know what I mean? Just some people are going to forgive and say those words just because it said that we're supposed to do what's the right thing to do. Just because they want to move on from the situation, they're like, you know what? Folks say the right thing to do is to forgive people, so I'm gonna do it. Maybe that'll help me move on. But what if it don't, though? What if it don't? Maybe some people don't deserve that. Maybe we're okay with just not even giving them that. You know what I mean? Like when I say accordingly and I say according, like this me saying the ball's in your court. Like I'm naturally, a laid back, respectful, pushing peace. I don't want no problem with nobody type of man. And it's a plethora of folk that move just like that. But it's also going to be, ignorant disrespectful, toxic, don't care about nobody but themselves, will do whatever to others as long as it's beneficial. As long as it doesn't affect them. Like folk really just don't give thought about their actions to other people. And how could you respect people like that? Even to the smallest things. People think people do the smallest things, right? Like ignorant things, right? Like what's an example? Like, I don't know. Let me say for me, right? And they'll call you when it's convenient for them or whatever the case. Just for example, right? They'll call you whatever, not because they really gave a fuck to check up on you or nothing like that. This is just something random. Not because they give a fuck to check up on you or nothing. Maybe they were just bored or whatever, right? And they want to kill time. It was for their amusement, their entertainment, or whatever the case. But right, but let's say you decide to do that, to contact them. Maybe you calling them, hit them up, or whatever the case. And it's not that same energy. It's I don't want to be bothered. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like little things like that is what I'm be talking about. All around the board. You know what I mean? Like people just the way people move, man. Like, and that's why I always tell people, like, just stand on that energy, whatever it is. 'Cause I'm fine. I promise you, I'm perfectly fine with somebody like disliking me. I'm perfectly fine with somebody hating me. All of that. All I'm saying is just stand on it. You understand? I say this a lot. I say if it's fuck me right now, then it's gonna have to be that tomorrow. If it's fuck me this week, it's gonna have to be fuck me next week. If it's fuck me this month, it's gonna have to be fuck me next month. There ain't no coming back from certain things. Because I always look at it like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like that people are gonna feel away from certain things. We talking about grown people. We ain't talking about no damn kids. People know what they're doing, bro. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know how they would feel if they did if certain things happened to them. They know. Like 2020, 2025 came in. Me personally, I don't give a fuck about like New Year's resolutions and things like that. But mine for the first time was just to make sure I made people stand on whatever energy it was. You know, as long as it don't affect them, it's like it really is the hell with you, kiss my ass just as fast as you can dap them up or hug them. Like I can't say who worse. I don't know. I really don't know if it's men or women. I don't know. I appreciate being real, being honest, and I know how to deal with you, right? Because if it's real, if it's honest, even if it's ugly, even if it's not that attractive of a situation or the truth that they tell, at least that that they're not gonna hide it from you. You know what I mean? Some people rather folks just hide, certain things or fake the funk or whatever the case. But I'm the type of person just give it to me now. I'm the type of person. Somebody come to me and say I got good news and I got bad news for you. I'm saying just give me the bad news. Just give me that first. Give me that first. We just can't. We can't put everybody in a box though. I get that because it is some genuine, authentic, honorable individuals. You know, it's crazy because I always say this too. We kind of like need the ain't shit people because they kind of like help balance out the universe. Like we can't have a world full of just honesty, respect, and value. Like that imbalance is gonna be crazy. I really believe that everybody's here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? These different energies, they're here for a reason. They all make up this wonderful universe. That's how I look at it. Like imagine what it'd be like if everybody was on the same time. If everybody thought the same exact way, what do you think the world would be like? We gotta have it balanced out. We gotta have it balanced out. There would be another problem to look forward to if everybody thought the same. If everybody was honest. If everybody was truthful. People probably will never understand that, but that's just how I look at it. You know what I mean? It really would be a mess. I think so. It's a certain form of order. You need the decent, you need the nice, the respectful, the straight up saints, the in betweens, the ignorant, the disrespectful, the assholes. See me, I'm not gonna lie. I prefer, like me myself, I prefer to be in between because I ain't trying to meet no expectations. I ain't trying to do that. I'm exactly what you want me to be. Now, I know what I am, but I'm saying when it comes to interacting with people, right, and communicating with people are gonna have their own description of you anyway. So it's like I'm whatever you want me to be. Whatever you say I am, I'll be. It's dependent on our interaction. I ain't gonna sit and tell no lie. I'm not finna pretend, just to be liked or accepted. Like I put up a post about a week ago, right? Maybe longer than that. And the purpose was just to ask folks, would you rather be hated for who you are or loved for who you're not? Anybody watch this video back, just get that some thought and leave your comments, thoughts, and opinions. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, but also, you know what? Also, let me say this. Y'all better be mindful, man, for real. I think y'all should be mindful of how you do, like, treat others. There's some people who just can't understand that. They just don't understand it. You know what I mean? People don't really look at the bigger picture. Folks don't never really ask themselves. Loney, what's going on? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Like folks don't ask themselves, how would I honestly feel if that person did the exact same thing to me? Of course, motherfuckers gonna lie. It's natural to say, oh, I wouldn't feel no way, oh, I wouldn't care, I wouldn't take it, knowing you only saying that because it didn't happen to you. You the one doing it. Like I say, realest one here is not a perfect human being, but you know, I embrace my imperfections. Like I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not going to want to return the energy or the action. Because I'm still, work in progress. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I try my best not to be the one acting, but I will react though. Then that don't mean going around here acting crazy on some, oh, I need revenge or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm gonna give it back to you the way you give it to me. It's simple. I don't think everybody deserves to be respected, man. I really don't think so. Only if they reciprocate. But that's everything. That's everything. And that's the wildest stuff about it right there. Cause those people like y'all know what I'm talking to when I be saying this type of shit. Like whoever be wanting everybody else to give that praise, that respect, that consideration, right? That thoughtfulness, that high regard. And you hardly at all or never gave or returned any of those things. But we gotta have those people. I understand it. But I'm just saying, you really think that's gonna continue to be a cycle? I mean, it kind of is in a way, but you gotta choose your poison. You know what I'm saying? Funny part though, should that cycle get broken, they would never be able to handle it. Like folks can't accept it. That's why you should be mindful, because at some point it's gonna get real. It's gonna get real different. Like you said, I respect those I like. Right, I mean, if you like somebody, I guess there's no such thing as, liking somebody and not respecting them. You know what I mean? It kind of like goes hand in hand, basically, right? Is it possible to like actually have like for somebody and not have respect for them? Like, But it get real different, man. Like when people try on them shoes they ain't never wore before, it get real different. Not everybody deserve grace, man. Not everybody deserve that. You know what I'm saying? All right, but I just want to get on here and say that basically. You know me, I don't really have too much to say. I get up here when I feel like it's necessary, you know what I mean, just to speak what's on my mind. I jump off. You know what I'm saying? But peace and blessings, man. Smack the shit out that light for a real one, thoughts, comments, opinions, and all of that. And I don't care how many times, every single time I get a chance to, I'm gonna say it. Just be mindful how you treat people, man. You know what I mean? Y'all swear up and down. You don't think that energy come back. You don't think you could be touched. That's the thing I never get. I'll never understand that. Nobody's exempt. Nobody's untouchable. If a man did dirt to another man in 93, it might take 10 years for that karma to catch up to that man. But in time, it happened. You know what I mean? Nobody really gets away with the things they do to other people. And some people figure if it's a small, if it's a small little, you know, like slap in the face, it's something that didn't necessarily affect somebody, but you don't know. Maybe it just depends on what they stand on. Maybe you don't look at it as disrespect. I'm very careful about what I say, how I treat people, because I know what I stand for. I know it's gonna piss me off. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get it right every damn time, but if I feel, if somebody come to me and say, I really felt the way about what you did or whatever, and I see that they're really bothered by it, I can have a conversation with them, and I could probably tell them I apologize about it. I don't got no problem saying that I apologize. Because if I felt like somebody crossed that line with me, my voice, y'all, that's why I gotta get up off here. If I feel like somebody crossed that line with me, and I feel like, listen, just understand where I'm coming from. We're talking about on some genuine stuff. I would want them to show me that same respect. As cliche and as repetitive as that shit sound, you gotta treat people the way you want to be treated. It might not be exactly that way, but I'm talking about the basics. Respect, just be courteous. It's not hard to reciprocate. It's not. People make it that way. So it's not these apps, and it's not the world. It's the people in the world. You understand? Like I said, you got the decent ones, you got the ones who gonna admit, okay, this is what you get with me. And there's some people they gonna smile on your face. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even trust people who smile all the time. Half those people are probably decent. You know what I'm saying? Like that emotion shit don't mean nothing to me. You expressing a smile on your face don't mean nothing to me. I met people who smiled because they was in a good mood. Everything was, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. I lost the comments for a second. All right. Um, like Like somebody like Marlene, for example. Like Marlene, she smiles all the time. I know Marlene is a good person. I've been around her. There are people who smile. There are people who. But I'm talking about. I've also have met people who smile when it really came time to get to know them. The actions didn't match up with that smile. Right, Marlene. Right, right. That don't go for everybody. You know what I mean? Like an expression don't really always there's stories behind these expressions. You know what I mean? Then there's intentions behind these expressions too. Like example, for me, I'm not a person that walking around just smiling and shit, right? I remember one time specifically, and it was hot as hell outside. It was back in the summertime. This lady thought that I was upset. I didn't say no words to this lady. She thought I was upset. I'm like, I'm fine. It was just hot as hell outside. I just don't walk around smiling. You understand? I never let none of that stuff fool you, man. But yeah, we all human at the end of the day, man. We all bleed, we all cry and all that. But it just amazes me when people move in a way where they think that you think that you can't be affected the same way that this person was affected. It's the arrogance for me. It's the arrogance. It's the nerve. You know what I'm saying? And some people will say they hear you, they'll listen. They be like, yeah, you right, yeah, you right. But them be the same motherfuckers who be doing the shit. That be the kicker about it. Don't let that shit go over your head either. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's all I need to say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Marlene, shout out to Looney, shout out to Jenny, shout out to Rain, shout out to anybody in the bushes. You know what I'm saying? If it resonate with you, smack the fuck out that light. Share the shit if you choose to. You know what I mean? Hit a nigga with a donation. Support, man. Support the platform. Molly say, don't think a smile means you can play game. Exactly. Exactly. A motherfucker with a smile will cut the shit out your ass. What? I'm smiling because I know I'm crazy. I know I'll hurt your ass. That's why I'm smiling. Like, you ever get into an altercation with somebody and they think they getting the worst out of you? They think you like you're weak or whatever, and you don't even mean to smile. You just you're assessing and analyzing the situation, and you know what you're prepared to do if it really come down to it. You give a laugh, and that laugh is kind of to say, "Damn, I hope this fool don't make me do this. I hope that God they don't make me do it." That type of smile. But they don't really understand it. They don't understand it until it's too late. You can't go back. You know what I mean? That type of shit. I can't tell you how many times I had. You already know I love my cutlass. Right. They don't know about the cutlass. I can't tell you how many times I had that smile on my damn face. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like a little chuckle and shit. But it don't never gotta get that deep. You know what I'm saying? We don't promote violence over here, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, man, to get, all of that, however the saying goes. If you want it, you got to get it. You know what I mean? They say if you want respect and all that, you gotta earn it. You know what I mean? Basically, same thing as if you want, you gotta give it to. That's all. That's all it is. You know. Just be mindful of how you treat folks, man. Be mindful of how you are with folks when you're interacting with them. You know, you might have been careless about your actions towards somebody, and they might have never forgot about that. You might be dealing with somebody who's a planner, who's a plotter, right? And you probably be thinking, oh, this fool, this stuff ain't nothing to worry about. I'm talking about men and women too. You know what I mean? But you just never know. It's all about reciprocation. I didn't realize how important that word was until like this past year. I didn't realize how much of a key to life that word is. Because think about it. Every person you meet, you interact with, that bond that you build, the relationship or friendship that comes from that, if there's no reciprocation, you don't get any of that shit. So how's it going to continue? It doesn't continue. I mean, some people don't mind it being one-sided. You understand? It can't be this person checking up on this person. See if this person is all right. Generally, looking to see like, you cool, everything all right. You know what I mean? But they don't get that back. You know. For some of us, it's our faults for continuing to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's just us as a person, and maybe we gotta, it's hard to stop being a good person. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta stop being a good person with certain people, right? I'm gonna leave it like that though, man. My nigga say no matter what, some people I will never like or respect because of their actions and their energy, right? And that's the thing right there, the energy. That'd be enough for me right there. If I'm ever in, it's two things. Either I figured out why I feel the energy I feel, when you enter the room sometimes, and you're around certain people, whatever the case. But it's like that's when I have to like think again. If I even have to question that much, that right there give me my answer. Because it shouldn't even be no questions in there. It should be no question marks popping up in the back of my head. I shouldn't be questioning it. That means I'm in the wrong room. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So yeah, this past year kind of taught me to look at things a lot different. Just interactions with people. But y'all gonna keep on ahead, man. Y'all gonna keep on ahead. Like I say, ain't nobody perfect. Have I pissed people off before? Yes. Have I made people mad before? Absolutely. And I apologize anytime I did. But some people make it a habit. Some of us do it by mistake and we can come back from it. We can make up for it or whatever, make it right. But some people have a habit of doing it and they do it because they know what they're doing, but they just do it because they don't think that they can be affected the same way. You know what I'm saying? Bubba West, what's the deal? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I was just about to ease up off here. You know what I'm saying? Every time I get ready to get up off here, but like, you know what? One more thing. You know what I mean? Like I say, man, I want to get up here when it's. Appreciate you holding it down for me the other night, homie. I know folks probably be saying, yo, why Realest be? Yo, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Because I be multitasking. You know what I mean? That's my damn business. But yeah, man. Just be mindful. Reciprocation is key. Ain't no such thing. There ain't no friendships. There ain't no relationships. There's no what? Even a booty call got to be reciprocated for two people to have that understanding. Okay, I'm gonna text that ass on this night. There's reciprocation, right? We communicate, we reciprocate, right? You know what I mean? Okay, this night is good for you. You know what I mean? There has to be. Yeah, I know what I'm saying, man. Don't pay me no mind, but I ain't lying. West say, oh no doubt, I was just glad to get up with you, bro. Yeah, I'll be glad when whenever you decide to, man. I'll be glad when you start doing, your live thing, West. You know what I'm saying? We gotta support the real ones out here, man. We gotta support the real ones, man. Come on. You know, it's like we were just talking about the other night. It ain't about nobody can't tell nobody else what to do or check other people pockets or anything like that. But it be some of the most negative shit that get the support. It don't matter. It could be financial. It could be whether it's the like, whatever the case. But when you know how to just speak that real shit, when you just know how to speak from a genuine place without disrespecting and offending people purposely, the results are a little bit different. The results be a little bit different. You know what I mean? Yeah. But hey, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate you. Wes, Marlene, Looney, Jenny, all that. Anybody who's in the bushes, even if you pop your head in for a quick second, I appreciate you. It's like I say, man, be mindful. Ain't nobody exempt. That go for me too. I'm super careful how I treat people. I'm super, because we only get this one life, right? And if that time comes for me to be judged tomorrow, I could say I did my best to make sure I treated people with some damn respect. You know? I think about that. I think about my own judgment day. You know what I mean? Yeah, appreciate you, Wes. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Well, like I say, man, I hit the like and all of that. If it resonate with you, you know what I'm saying? Leave a comment or whatever the case. I might be, y'all see I popped up on here. Vamp hours times, man. I don't know. I might start bringing the vamp hours back, but I only get up here when I got something to say for real. I don't just be sitting up here just to talk, just to chill and all that shit. I gotta get it off my chest. I gotta say it. You know what I mean? I got a reason when I hit that live button, man. You know what I mean? I talk my shit, but I try to keep it respectful. But I also know for some people, you gotta deliver it just how it come out.
Yeah, I don't get on panels anymore like that. So it was definitely good to catch up. Definitely, man. You know, always, if it's genuine, if it's genuine, you can tell. If it's real, you can tell. No question. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all, man. But I'm about to get my black ass up off of here. You know what I mean? Peace and blessings. Y'all be safe and all that. And like I say, reciprocation is key. Y'all be mindful. And remember, you can't give everybody grace. Don't let that go over your head. We gotta apply that. Can't give it to everybody. Because everybody don't give it to us. You know what I mean? But y'all be easy, man. I'm gone.